Hello, Herstoryans. I'm your host, Heather Ashley, and welcome to another episode of Women of Her Story, a podcast dedicated to celebrating women who have made or are making their mark on our society. Here with me today, as always, is Philip McSnufflemus. How has your day been so far?
Good afternoon. I'm having a phenomenal day. And how are you doing today?
Wow, a phenomenal day.
Phenomenal.
Wow.
Capital P.
That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
What is that Lil Wayne song?
Oh,
And
you know,
the F
Weezy
is
F
for
Baby.
phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, he actually came out this past month and said that he regretted that line. That was one of his lines he regrets the most.
Probably because it makes him seem the most idiotic.
Yes.
Anywho. Tiniest bit of business to take care of today. Everyone go get that Her Story merch. The Bonfire link is in the show notes, or you can head to bonfire.com, search for Women of Her Story, a podcast, and our store page will pop right up. 20% of the profits are going to the Henry Street Settlement in New York City.
Absolutely. Amplifying women's voices in our platform, supporting us all around.
Yeah.
So go grab that Women of Her Story merch.
I think the first round of people who ordered at the beginning of September, what month are we in? September?
Yep.
Still? Wow. I think the people who ordered that in the first round should have received their merch by now, or it is in the mail. And now, coming to the mound for today's Her Story lesson is Jackie Mitchell, the 17-year-old who struck out Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig back to back.
Woof.
Jackie Mitchell was born on August 29th, 1913 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, to parents Vernie Wall Mitchell and Dr. Joseph Mitchell. As soon as Jackie could walk, her father took her out to the baseball diamond and taught her the basics. It also just so happened that her neighbor was Dazzy Vance, a Major League Baseball pitcher that pitched for 5 franchises over the course of his 20-year career. He is the only pitcher to lead the National League in strikeouts for 7 consecutive seasons and was eventually inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1955.
Impressive sports resume. Mm-hmm. She definitely has a good neighbor.
Absolutely. Well, here's what makes him an even better neighbor. Dazzy spent time teaching a young Jackie the ins and outs of good pitching. And he even taught her his signature drop ball, a type of breaking ball that comes at the batter straight on and then drops as soon as it comes across the plate. By all accounts, she was a well-rounded, gifted, dedicated athlete. She spent the winters competing for a traveling basketball team and playing baseball in the spring and summer months. At age 17, Jackie started playing for the Angelettes, a women's team in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And according to a scouting report at the time, Mitchell has one of the most deceptive pitching deliveries, hits fair, and fields way above the average that of a boy of her age can field.
There you go. Hashtag women in sports. You know, she had such a good person to help train her. I feel like she was destined to, for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it was,
yeah, she
the
had
stars
a supportive
were aligned
father
for her.
and then like a great neighbor teaching her
Yeah.
the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely clearly a dedicated athlete if she's like already a two-sport competitive team player. That's so cool.
And the support system is definitely necessary, so I'm glad that she had that early on to start.
She went on to attend a special baseball training camp in Atlanta, Georgia, and here she got attention from Joe Engel, the president and owner of the Chattanooga Lookouts. He knew he had to have her on his team and had a contract written right up. Jackie was actually in Dallas playing in a basketball tournament when she heard the news that she had been offered the contract. She made a beeline right back to Tennessee. She had quite a task at hand, though. She needed to get her arm back in shape and quick. She had spent the last few months playing basketball, not baseball. She was officially signed to the team on March 25th, 1931, in a white-colored gown, a chic little hat, and a snug leather jacket.
Oh, styling.
Styling.
And profiling.
I'm going to take that idea of an outfit because...
Just wear it every day.
Awesome.
Just wear something like flashy like that every day.
Not even flashy. A white dress, a hat, and a leather jacket. That's so cool. What a cool... She sounds like a cool girl.
Yeah.
I even have written, I forgot that I wrote that it sounds like something I would wear. That's what I literally, the next line.
In that attire. That absolutely is your
The next
flair.
line in the script is something I would wear. When asked about how she was feeling about the contract, she said, quote, "This is an answer to a dream I have to make good." I love that she wasn't like, yeah, I deserve it. I'm getting my just, like, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I got this opportunity and I have to deliver.
Yeah, no, she's dedicated. She's motivated. She's driven to do this, you know, and she has the potential.
Mm-hmm. Her upcoming outing against the Yankees would make her the second woman to play organized baseball. The first woman being Lizzie Arlington, who pitched for the Reading Coal Heavers against the Allentown Peanuts in a major league game.
How do you think they picked those names for baseball teams back then?
Can we start a petition to bring them back?
I don't know. I don't know. Some of these names even seem outdated. Like the New York Yankees. Like the Yankees, the thought process of what a Yankee means now is just so silly.
I wonder if it had to do with certain like school mascots, right? For school districts are based on who is sponsoring them.
Okay.
So I wonder, or something that's really prevalent in that town.
Yeah, like peanuts, and then it's
peanuts,
like,
maybe it was like a lot of peanut
list.
farming it there or something, and then it just kind of gets turned. Now my high school and like grade school mascot were dragons, so I don't know that this logic applies to all mascot and team naming.
F for originality for on across the board. And do better with names.
Yeah. But I kind of want the Reading Coal Heavers to be a team again.
I can't.
The New York Yankees had just completed their spring training, and as they did every year on their way back up to the Bronx, the Yankees stopped in Chattanooga to play an exhibition game against the Chattanooga Lookouts on April 1st, 1931. Due to heavy rain, the game was delayed to the next day, and on the afternoon of April 2nd, history was made. Jackie wasn't on the roster to start. Her new teammate, Clyde Barfoot, was on the mound. Leadoff batter for the Yankees, Earl Combs smashed a double. Larry Lynn was up next, and he got a piece of the ball, sending a single straight up the middle, scoring Combs from second base. Who's up next? Well, that would be Babe Ruth, and Lou Gehrig right behind him. Manager Bert Nyhoff petitioned to bring back
Bert Nyhoff. Bert Nyhoff?
Bert Nyhoff. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Manager Bert Nyhoff made his way to the mound, pulled Clyde, and gave 17-year-old, 5'5" 130-pound Jackie Mitchell the nod. One of my new least favorite people, a reporter for the Washington Post, wrote, quote, "Without so much as powdering her nose or seeing if her lipstick was on straight, Jackie strode to the mound." Top 10 least favorite.
What?
That counts as reporting? That counts as writing?
I can't. That's
Gross.
So unacceptable.
I hate him.
Dude.
I hate him. Top 10 least favorite.
Fired.
After tossing a few warm-up pitches with her catcher, Jackie was ready to start Babe Ruth's at-bat. Keep in mind the turnaround. She signed her contract 6 days prior. She went from playing basketball in a tournament in Dallas to pitching against Babe Ruth and the Yankees in 6 days.
That's a quick come up. That's amazing.
Can't even imagine.
I mean, when you're that talented though, like life just happens that fast for you, right?
Your heart just beating.
Oh, all the anxiety, of
My
course.
gosh.
Because I mean.
So understandably, the first pitch was a high ball that Ruth took, making it a 1-0 count. She settled in and, quote, wound up as if she were turning a coffee grinder and delivered a delicious curveball. Ruth whiffed. 1-1. Keep in mind that she has this nasty breaking ball that Dazzy taught her. Order up, another swing, batter, and a miss. 1 and 2 is the new count. Ruth asks the umpire to examine the ball, as most batters will do if they feel like they couldn't possibly be bested by the pitcher. The ball is, of course, fine. Nothing wrong with it. After 2 incredible pitches with plenty of movement, there were a few ways they could go for the next pitch. But what better way than to sail one straight down the middle? Babe Ruth was frozen in his stance and was struck out. See you later.
Hey, good.
Hot looking. The crowd of 4,000 roared for Jackie, and Ruth was not pleased.
Good.
He glared, threw his bat like a toddler throwing a tantrum, and verbally abused the umpire before being let off by the rest of his teammates.
Someone sounds hurt.
He sounds fragile.
Someone sounds a little hurt. Oh, his ego.
Later, while speaking to the Chattanooga newspaper, he had this delightful little piece of wisdom to share. Quote, I don't know what's going to happen if they begin to let women in baseball. Of course, they will never make good. Why? Because they are too delicate. It would kill them to play ball every day. You don't know what's going to happen? You don't know what's going to happen? You struck out. Get over yourself, you sexist lump. Honestly. Oh my gosh.
Lump.
I went on a Babe Ruth rabbit hole, a different kind than I'm used to going on. And I wasn't too pleased with what I found, in case you couldn't tell.
I'm still humored by your usage of the word lump.
Honestly.
You threw it in there as like a third adjective.
Well, that's what he is. And so any of you can come for me, and I will fight you about Babe Ruth.
But what was the rabbit hole?
He sucks. That was the rabbit hole. Just finding a whole bunch of awful things that he said about women.
No, because
we're
not trying to hear that.
Yeah,
no,
that
no,
could
no,
be
no.
a whole
That's
other...
No, yeah. Next.
Yeah.
No, boy, bye.
Boy, bye. Bye, Felicia.
Yes.
Back to the game.
Yes.
Ruth had just got caught looking, and who's up next? The Iron Horse himself, Lou Gehrig. His at-bat was a quick one, as he swung through the first 3 pitches he saw and struck out. Tony Lazzari was up to bat next. Jackie threw 4 pitches outside for a walk, probably because she had a week to get her arm in shape, and, fatigue is real.
Burned it through trying to strike out 2 of baseball's supposed best players at the time.
A reporter from the Post, who has also made my list of top 10 new least favorite people, wrote this, though. He said, quote, Jackie probably remembered by that time that she was a woman, and after all the excitement, she undoubtedly wanted to go off and have a good cry, so they let her retire from the game.
I don't think that's how anything works.
What? Remembered she was a woman?
I don't think this man understands how life works.
What? Do you think she just was, like...
No, I don't
having
know.
an episode,
that
and then
nuts.
She's like, "Oh my God, my pearls! I'm a woman. Why am I on a baseball mound?"
Yeah, no, he sounds
what
like he's way more like he has the problem.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely. Well, Jackie Mitchell left the mound to cheers and watch the rest of the uneventful game, one that ended with her team losing 14-4.
Ugh.
Whoops, that sucks.
Man.
Just days after Jackie struck out 2 of the most widely accepted greatest players in baseball history, baseball commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis, who are these people?
Why?
Voided her contract, declaring women unfit to play baseball, saying that the game was too strenuous. Finding these quotes from these fragile men is what proved to be too strenuous for me.
You know what we need? We either need women in charge or men with 2 names that are maybe 10 letters max. Like 12 letters max. I've got a good rounded base name, you know what I mean? It's about 12 letters long, not crazy. It should your name's not going to be something something something. Your time is up. Your time ended. You got to go.
To make things even more annoying, To this day, there are still debates about whether or not the strikeouts were even legit, or if they were a publicity stunt from top to bottom that was orchestrated by owner Joe Engel, because how could a girl strike these men out? See, Engel took over the club in 1929, just before the stock market crashed and launched the nation into a depression. Jana Jan, or Jana Jan, Jana, I think that's Jan.
Jan.
Yeah. Jana Jan. I kind of wish it was that.
Jana Jan.
Jana Jan,
JJ.
chair of the Engel Foundation, which is a Chattanooga-based nonprofit working to refurbish the Lookout's old stadium, which I think is really cool. That's why I included that random bit. Said, quote, Joe was a master of promotion. Joe created at Engel Stadium the intersection between vaudeville and baseball. For instance, with the help of the Chattanooga Times, he arranged to raffle off a house to a lucky ticket holder. He traded a shortstop for a 25-pound turkey, which he promptly served to the team's beat reporters. Later, he explained that they had been, quote, giving him the bird all season. I kind of want to be on that level.
I can't.
A little bit.
Can't. I can't even. What is life? That man is a joke.
Oh my gosh. Well, when
he lives in metaphors.
When the Senators' owner, Clark Griffith, considered putting the Lookouts on the market in 1937, Engel stood on various street corners around town and sold stakes in his new fan-owned club at $5 per share to over 1,500 people. On opening day of one season, he staged a papier-mâché elephant hunt on the field and sent safari-clad trappers to chase men in pachydermy suits.
Are we still talking about baseball?
Yes.
Okay, see, now, my problem is that with, like, you know, when you go, you know, not this year, but last year, you know, when you would go see, like, a baseball
T-shirt
game,
day.
they'd have, like, National Keychain Day, like the dumbest, lamest little trinkets. There were whole...
I want an elephant
There were
hunt.
whole, like, scavenger,
I want a papier-mâché
like,
elephant
events.
hunt.
Yeah, like, okay, sometimes in the summer, we do get, like, cool concerts. You'll see, like, Bad Bunny or, like, you know, J-Lo, they'll perform at, like, at New City Field. That's cool. Like, those concerts are
I
cool.
want a papier-mâché
I want
elephant
that.
hunt.
I don't want keychain dick. Keep keychains and your stupid hats and every other lame trinket that's less than $3.
Well, here's the thing about Joe Engel. So all of these things he's known for being this crazy guy, all kinds of promotions, all kinds of crazy stuff, and pulling stunts, and most recently, he signed a girl to his team. So it didn't help also that Babe Ruth was known to do things just for publicity, for reaction, for kicks, whatever. He's the worst. I hate him. However, there seems to be a lot more indicators that the whole thing was legit. First of all, she was taught by Dazzy Vance, known as the premier strikeout pitcher of the 20s. He taught her how to pitch those sinking balls, curves, and so on. Leslie Heafy, associate professor of Kent State University and noted baseball historian, said, quote, think about a pitcher coming in they've never seen before. She's a lefty with a very deceptive pitch from all accounts. Lefty against two left-handed sluggers gives Jackie the advantage. And not just that she's literally, they've never seen her pitch before. You know, this is someone that no one has any actual, like, stats on. In the 1990 biography, Iron Horse, Ray Robinson wrote, Gherig thought the rules had to be strictly obeyed. A man was not entitled to breathe too freely. He adheres to a moral code loftier, certainly, than the Babes. It is highly unlikely that Lou Gehrig would have agreed to a publicity ploy like this one. It has no benefit for him. It has no benefit to the game. It has no benefit for everyone. For anyone. Furthermore, Lazary, her third batter faced, insisted that the strikeouts were real. He said that he went to the plate looking to hack. She just ended up pitching a little outside, and he was like, it's going to be easier to get a walk than a hit off of her.
You know, that guy seems the most impartial. He's like, I don't care if she's a woman or not. I just
like,
wanted I mean,
he's
she
like, I'm
struck
trying to
out
get
the
my
other
batting
two
average
guys.
up.
I wanted, yeah, like, I'm trying to hit the ball.
I'm trying to win this game.
She struck out the other two guys. I was just trying to swing and hit.
Yeah, and he was like, it just happened.
She threw a ball, and I was trying to hit it and run.
Yeah, honestly, it's so funny. And I love that it took a while to find anything on him, because he's kind of been lost.
And so, you know, that's how you know in history, he like that person is not as controversial because they didn't create enough ripples and time to like
and so
shock the system.
When,
he was like,
when he's been asked about it, he's just like, oh yeah, no, I was looking to
I had a bat and they threw a ball and I was going to hit it and run as fast as possible,
trying to score some
like coach said, you know, hit it, make contact, swing, grip, and run. So I did.
Oh my gosh, I like him. I kind of want to go and look up stuff about him just to find out about his life. Yeah.
He's the real unsung hero of all of this. The most impartial character in the story.
Well, after Commissioner Jealous Much voided her contract, Jackie went on playing in various junior leagues, and in 1933 she signed with the barnstorming team House of David. It was a men's team that was famous for their very long hair and very long beards. Sometimes, while she was traveling with them, she would wear a fake beard, which is kind of fun.
I was born in the wrong era.
You were.
Darn it.
Darn it. You could have played for the House of David.
Oh, so many missed opportunities.
If you're a little lost as to what barnstorming is, have no fear. Google search and Webster's are here.
I was gonna
and
ask.
Also me.
Yes.
Barnstorming refers to sports teams or individual athletes that travel to various locations, usually small towns, to stage exhibition matches. They operate outside of an established athletic league. The most relevant one that is still popular and well known today would be the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's people that they play against legitimate teams, but they're operating outside of the league, so it doesn't count in terms of like the league's scoring system and stat system. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, women played on what were known as bloomer girl teams from the 1890s to the 1930s, barnstorming the United States to play men's teams. Each women's team had at least one man on the team, and they were thought of as more entertainment than an actual sport. The last of these leagues disbanded in 1934, so it was more of a, wow, let's go see ladies play baseball.
Ew.
And not,
let's go watch a game. That's gross.
Jackie Mitchell retired in 1937 at the ripe old age of 23.
What?
Much like the spectacle the bloomer girl leagues were facing, Jackie's story was turning into a sideshow.
Who retires? Who? I mean, I know, of course, it's a rhetorical question, but, like, that sucks that she had, like, no one retires from anything at 23.
Especially when you're good at it and you love it. But
like,
listen to this.
Sucks.
Once she was asked to pitch while riding a donkey.
What?
They don't care.
Like a
literal
carnival,
donkey.
like some sort of trick
they're
show?
like it's insane. That's what it was turning into, is that no one was saying, let's see how good she can pitch, end of sentence. It was, okay, let's see if she can do all these things and do it this way. And if she refuses, they can look at her and say, well, then you're not good enough in the first place. If you don't think you're good enough to do this while doing this, then your skills aren't up there.
So they won't let women play, and then when they let women play, they give a number of reasons why they think women can't play or shouldn't play.
Yes.
So it's weird.
You know, and the indignity that
weird.
that the women in these leagues must have felt.
How are you that sensitive about yourself and about other?
You know, it's about feeling.
That's so strange.
It's about for so long having all of it under your own control, and then as soon as someone else or another group of people can stand up and say, but you're not the only one
No, yeah,
And
right.
that's
yeah.
what it
There's going
is.
to be other people who do things better
Yeah.
than you. Who cares?
Yeah.
So weird.
I know. After she retired, she went to work at her father's optometry office in Chattanooga. She refused to come out of retirement when the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League was formed in 1943 by Philip Wrigley. If you've seen the classic A League of Their Own, the film is based off of this league and these women's experiences in
Absolutely a classic.
It's
Yeah, you
so
had
good.
Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, Tom Hanks.
It's so good. We need to
Great
rewatch
cast.
that.
Great cast.
I don't think we've watched that together.
No, but
We
I
need to
know.
watch it.
But the group, the baseball team that it's based off of,
All-American Girls Professional Baseball
yes,
League.
that I know they follow us online.
Oh, the specific team.
Yeah. The Peaches.
Oh, the Peaches.
Yeah, the Peaches
Oh,
actually
that's
follow
cool.
us and have interacted with us numerous times. Shouts out to them.
We're so fancy.
Shouts out. Well, we're there. We're there.
The MLB formally banned the signing of women on June 21st, 1952. This ban lasted 40 years until 1992 when Carrie Schuler was drafted by the Chicago White Sox. What?
Chicago White Sox versus the Detroit Dry Sox.
The Chicago White Sox. What? For the 1993 season. Just for a little bit of extra context and wild hypocrisy, 1992 was the year A League of Their Own was released.
Bad.
1992.
www.bad.com
92.
/ how dare you.
Until 1992, there was a formal ban on women being signed
Lame.
in the MLB.
It's just lame. It's stupid.
It's ridiculous. It's
unnecessary.
insane.
Wildly offensive.
It's crazy. In 1982, Jackie was invited to throw out the ceremonial first pitch for the Chattanooga Lookouts on their season opening day. A few years later, on January 7th, 1987, Jackie Mitchell passed away in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, at the age of 74.
Sad.
Sad. From all accounts, though, it seems to have been a peaceful...
Natural occurrence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years after her death, Isla Borders became the first woman to pitch in a regular season professional game with the minor league St. Paul Saints in Minnesota. Eri Yoshia pitched for the Kobe 9 Crews of the Kansai Independent Baseball League starting in the 2009 season.
Very cool.
In 2014, Monet Davis became the first girl to throw a shutout game in the Little League World Series history.
Shouts out Monet. Wow.
Amazing. There are hundreds of thousands of unsung women in baseball. We talked to one in our very first interview episode, the first full-time female hitting coach hired by a Major League Baseball organization, Rachel Balkovec. It's really amazing. Really amazing. But, you know, it's kind of crazy that there's so many women that are just... Baseball's weird. I think baseball's weird. I think the invention of softball, not discounting anyone who plays softball. Softball's great. Love it. But I think a lot of people are like, well, women have softball. You don't need to play baseball. It's a completely different game.
Now, sports kind of sucks, though, because of the lack of inclusivity with women and, you know, just other people that fall in different spectrums.
Bizarre.
And then, you know, like, if women are quote-unquote given softball, they still get persecuted for it. Or
But no, it's even looking at, like, soccer, right? So, like, soccer, the women's team has won far more than the men's team. And yet they make way, way less money because apparently sports aren't marketable for women.
Well, what about the U.S. Open? You know what I mean? Like, you have some of the biggest, the top male players saying that women shouldn't get paid anymore. Like, that's so gross, and I don't understand how they still have fans, still have sponsorship, still get all this press. Like, absolutely gross, wildly offensive. People need to stop co-signing and stop giving that attention light. It sucks, and it's a bad reflector of society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shameful.
Because I actually genuinely believe that that's not the opinion of the majority of people. I think it just when
the higher ups
when
in
people
sports.
when people yeah, exactly, when they're used to receiving X amount of money, X amount of attention, X amount of credit, and then there's someone that they deem a threat to their success, a threat to their lifestyle, they will absolutely do everything in their power, which they have, to make it not happen.
Everything will be a little bit more balanced once we get more women and people of color in power, in the right seats. Until then, the scales are tipped.
We're tipping them back.
Hopefully.
Back to her story lesson. Wow, we went down a ramp there. Yeah. Elizabeth Maurer, the former director of programs for the National Women's History Museums, said that Jackie Mitchell fits a narrative that many people find attractive. She says, quote, "They like to find these women from the past who didn't just succeed in male-dominated professional fields, but they beat the men. The problem with that is that Jackie Mitchell didn't win. She didn't get to keep that contract." And I kept coming back to that over and over and over again while researching this episode, because a lot of the articles stop the information with her striking them out, and then they follow it up with when she died, as if to completely eliminate the entire fact that she was shunned, and then that women were officially banned from being able to play in the actual league. And then to debate whether or not she was even a legitimate pitcher is to add insult to injury. It's just so interesting. Like, literally, I would say probably 3/4 of all of the articles that I was finding they would literally give the rundown of the game, and then they would throw in how crazy Joe Engel and his Chattanooga Lookouts were. And then they would say, was it real? And then they would say when she died. And there was no... because I think if it were fake, I don't think there would have been such a massive upheaval immediately following.
Oh, right.
With her. If it were for publicity and if it were fake, there would be no reason for the baseball commissioner to have intervened and voided her contract and say that. Yeah. I think Babe Ruth, threw enough of a hissy fit that they decided that it was easier it would affect the bottom line less if they just got rid of her and just let Monster Man get away with things. I just hate him.
Yeah, there's no reason to say something is fake and then cause a ruckus about it.
Exactly.
Either it's not real or you have a problem with it, but it can't you can't have a problem with it and have it be fake. Then it's real and you have a problem with it.
Exactly.
That's
you can't
absolutely redundant.
You can't. It's
how can something be fake if it's real? If you're like upset about it.
Yeah, if you're that upset, if you're upset enough
fake,
to get the baseball commissioner involved, then there's just ridiculous. We came across an organization called Baseball for All. We highly recommend you all to go and support their initiative to provide the same caliber of training and opportunities to girls that young boys receive. They're amazing. Support them if you can. They're on Twitter. You can find them on, I think, Instagram too, and they're all over the place. So go look at them. They're amazing. And one of the sources that I used in this episode was an article from the New York Times series Overlooked. Here's a little bit about Overlooked and their mission. So, quote, "Since 1851, obituaries in the New York Times have been dominated by white men. With Overlooked, we're adding the stories of remarkable people whose deaths went unreported in the Times." They have some really incredible articles, and I wanted to specifically shout that out because I think that's a great initiative that they have going, and you can find some really cool people. I went on a weird rabbit hole in that too.
You sound like House when you call it cool. Like some obituaries, you gotta read them. You gotta read them.
I think it's
unique.
There's also a movie called Throw Like a Girl. Now, it's currently on the festival circuit, but it's directed by this woman named Sarita Young. She is a future guest on the show, and the the movie is all about a girl in high school who is on her varsity baseball team. She's going through a lot of sexism problems and life is just not going great. And then she gets a visit from Jackie Mitchell. So she comes across an article and it's really great. I know the trailer is available, and so we'll try to link that out, and then you guys go watch that and you can stay up to date on when that will actually be released for like wide release. I'll leave you all with something Jackie said in an interview shortly before her death in response to the questions behind the legendary strikeouts. She said, quote, "Why, hell, they were trying. Damn right. Hell, better hitters than them couldn't hit me. Why should they have been any different?" I love her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's no reason for it to have been fake.
Yeah. No, those are
and if it were fake, I don't think she would have agreed to it because they would have voiced that she could lose her contract, you know? Like, there's no way she would agree to something like that.
We also wouldn't have gotten that one account from the guy after.
Oh, yeah, Lazary. Yeah, there's no way.
Like, he's super impartial and just wanted to hit the ball. Like, he would not. That's such a random testimony to give after striking those two players out. There's just no way that was fake. That was real. So that happened.
Exactly. Well, Herstoryans, thank you so much for tuning in again. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, tell your friends, all that stuff. It really, really helps us grow. Come back this Friday for an interview with choreographer, director, and creator of Mateta Dance and law school student, Kinsani. In this interview, Kinsani talks about how she ended up in New York City from South Africa, why she's passionate about activism and dance, and how she ended up in law school again. Follow us on social media on Twitter at
The Her Story Pod,
Instagram,
Women of Her Story Podcast,
and visit our website at
ofherstory.com.
Until next week, be safe, stay healthy, and show the world what you're made of.
Bye.